Hey guys, so today I'll be showing the time-lapse of this instant ramen noodle which I digitally painted recently. So this is the original photo by Joshua Ryder on Unsplash. So let's get to it. Okay, so as usual, I would be adding the reference photo thumbnail there and the final digital painting on the left, and on the right is the time-lapse. So as you can see, this is me sketching it out, but I do not do this freehand. I do trace the original photo to make sure that I get all of the details as accurate as possible, because I am still not at the level or the skill to be able to freehand it. I can, but because I wanted to make it as realistic as the photo itself. So after I have traced everything, the drawing that I want, the details that I want, I start rendering the colors in. Okay, one thing you should notice that in most of my digital paintings that I do, the background is always colored. I do not leave it white because to me, with a certain color that you choose helps you speed up the painting itself, and it kind of looks finished, because sometimes when it's white it looks empty and it kind of like demotivates you, like, oh my god, there's still so much to do. So when you have a colored background, it kind of tricks you into thinking that, oh, okay, it's already done, it's, you know, you just got to do it a bit more. So in this digital painting, I used two brushes, which is the usual brush that I always use, which is Kadiri's pencil sketch, as well as ANX, and both of these are free to download. And I used quite a bit of smudging in here as well. I'm usually not a person that likes to use smudging, but lately I have found a way to make it look good and not too smooth. So the smudge brushes were by Haze Long. Okay, also some free brushes that you can download to use. I would okay, you see me here redrawing because originally I did it really rough, but then I wanted to do it really detailed, so I retraced again to get it in more detailed. So this digital painting took me about 21 hours or so, 24, I can't remember exactly. Wait, let me check. I think it took me, it took me 21 hours and 42 minutes to complete in Procreate. Then when you see towards the end of this time lapse of this Procreate, the color is different from what you see on the left, is because I actually edited in Snapseed, which I have included this time inside this video for you to see what I do to my photos, to my digital paintings, to create an effect. So in here it is slightly glowy because I want the image to be more vibrant, to pop out, and to look slightly different than the original photo. So it's kind of like a stylization that I do. And for those who don't know, I used to be a photographer. I took a lot of photos, and the reason why I like doing this photorealism effect is because it kind of mimics to when I was once a photographer. And yes, I also happen to like to edit again after drawing in photo editing apps, because I think it's a habit from being a photographer back then, you know, editing, post-processing photos. So it is a similar concept that I apply to my digital paintings. So I have done a ramen digital painting before, but it was very rough, and this time I just, after doing the steak, I thought, no, it's pretty cool to do it as detailed and as realistic as possible. So here you go. Funny thing is that to me, although the ramen was really there's a lot to do with the ramen, to color it in, to render the details, the dark parts, and the ramen, and the shine, that the light that hits on the ramen. The toughest part for me was actually the chopsticks, because I am terrible at straight lines. So the chopstick took me quite a while to get done. Probably not as long as the ramen, because, you know, there's a lot of individual strands, but yeah, it was really hard for me to get the right texture, the right rendering for the chopstick. So that took me a while to find a way, maneuver and find a way to get an effect which I liked. So as you can see me individually coloring in the ramen. So I think what makes an image really to make it realistic is definitely the gradual changes in the shadows and the highlights. So when the darks, sometimes when you see images and the shadow itself, it's not just one black color. It has a gradual slight changes. It goes slightly brown, slightly darker, slightly lighter. So that actually makes a huge difference to your final images. So how do I choose the colors? Well, there are a few ways. One is you could color pick, which I usually do because it's the quickest, it's the fastest. Some people don't like it, they feel like it's cheating. I said, F that. I mean, it's my drawing, I choose whatever I want. So I do color pick. However, sometimes when I color pick, I don't like the colors. If it's too dull, sometimes it can be a bit too dull. So I would actually, first I would color pick, and then I would adjust it slightly, make it slightly more saturated or change it to a tone that I like. And I think the thing about photorealism, digital realism, photorealistic, hyper-realistic, a lot of people question, again, I am repeating this thing over and over because people do question, why do hyper-realism? Why do you want to recreate something exactly the same? And people would also talk about tracing, like tracing is bad. You learn nothing from tracing. Tracing is just basically you not doing anything. Believe me, you can trace. Anybody can trace. But when it comes to the rendering itself, now that requires some attention and details, and it is not easy. I tell you, it is not easy to achieve that effect that you want when you are digitally painting something. You gotta get the right brushes, you gotta get the right texture, you gotta get the right colors, you gotta get the right everything, the blending, or not, it will look totally off and weird. It could either look too flat, it could either look too smooth or too jaggedy. So it requires a certain level of skill which needs practice, and soon enough you will get the hold of what to do and how to do it. And also I think different apps like Autodesk or Medibang Paint, it does it requires a different kind of touch to it, approach to it. It's different because the way the brushes react on different apps is actually different. Even within Procreate itself, different brushes have different kind of styles. So you got to keep on experimenting and trying until you find which is best and you are most comfortable with. I thought I should highlight this, the shadows that I added in here instead of making it plain, because I wanted to look as realistic as possible. I did not want to draw the whole detail of the original photo because I wanted to make it kind of like pop out instead of drawing everything the background of the original photo like I did in the steak, because the background was really nice wooden effect, so I think I wanted to include that. But this one I thought I wanted to focus on the ramen and make it pop out, so I decided to make a plain background. So this is where I decided to add in the shadows to make it a little more realistic. So I think it is kind of believable that that's how it would look if there was like shadow coming out of it instead of on a plain table background, right? So I think it is important when you when you look around, you look at things, you look at photos, you study how the light falls, the shadow falls. So it does help you a lot recreating the scene itself to make your digital paintings believable. So okay, I'll stop here and I'll continue in a bit when I start editing in Snapseed. Okay guys, so as you can see, the drawing is about done in Procreate. Okay, so if you can see the comparison between the left and right photo, the finished digital painting, okay, there are a lot of difference, which is mostly the saturation. It's very saturated in this one. This I would usually edit after I have done everything. I would play around with the saturation. I would either do it in Procreate itself or I would do it in Snapseed. But in a while, I'll show you how I added the glamour glow. The glow that you see in the final artwork is done in Snapseed. So I use this a lot, this effect a lot in most of my digital paintings to give it that extra punch. I mean, I could do this in Procreate, but it will take a very long time because to be able to do the blurry and to adjust the opacity and the softness on the edges but hard in the middle is very difficult. So being someone who used to do photography and post-process, I found a much easier way. Just use the photo editing app to recreate this effect that you want. So here, as you can see, I'll be opening up in Snapseed. So there you go. So I already adjusted the saturation of the final drawing. So this is where I add in the glow, which is called glamour glow. So there are a few presets which I just use the first one and I would adjust the glow. So this one I totally maxed it out. I would do this. I would just go back and forth to see which suits best. And so after I am satisfied with how it looks, I added in the glow instead of making it normal like that. And yeah, I'm about done. And that is all. Thank you for watching. And that is all. Bye!